Shakespeare's Elizabethan The Tempest, 1611, has been reiterated through Margaret Atwood's 21st century novelisation Hagseed for the ultimate purpose of subverting assumptions of physical entrapment, revealing the repercussions of mental imprisonment collectively. Shakespeare explores the imprisoning nature of isolation through the compounds of the physical world, acknowledging the detriments of revenge on the psyche. In juxtaposed views, we can see that Atwood analyses the effects of guilt on the psyche, portrayed in the protagonist's Felix hallucinations of his lost child, thus causing a disassociation from society as a consequence of his illusion. This evaluation of mental imprisonment in a psychoanalytical society allows for the re-evaluation on Prospero's mental capacity. Furthermore, both texts explore how forgiveness, imposed in a Christian-dominating society, leads to freedom through healing. Atwood and Shakespeare juxtapose worlds to depict the dissonances and resonances of the ideologies of imprisonment, proving how textual conversations involve re-evaluating the assumptions of the past to reveal hidden truths. The Tempest highlights the feudal-based system of revenge as a catalyst for betrayal, despite the influence of Christianity at the time, advising forgiveness over foul play. Prospero's imprisonment is found physically on this island and his inability to escape. However, Atwood's re-evaluation and remodeling reveals a metaphorical entrapment in his revenge, being unable to break free from his own evil nature. Hence, depicting his desire for revenge, encouraging a vengeful society, is imprisoning his mentality. Dissonating with Shakespeare in a postmodern psychoanalytic society, Atwood reassesses the emotional effect of guilt infecting the mind and consciousness, through Felix's self-blame for Miranda's death. If only he had, if only he hadn't. If only he'd been away. No, too painful still. Anaphora is employed to emphasize Felix's imprisoning self-blame, causing Felix to lead an illusionary life, vacillating between his regret and lost potential, thus entrapped. Furthermore, Felix's delusion is seen in his hallucinations of Miranda. He looks for footprints, but reminds himself she doesn't leave footprints. Felix's disconnection from reality is pivotal in his inability to differentiate between illusion and actuality. Moreover, such misconception enables the re-questioning of assumptions regarding Prospero. Ultimately, it's evident he is portraying Shakespeare and his inability to be free from his ongoing desire to satisfy the audience, being his last solo act. By using a rhyming couplet, "But release me from my bands with the help of your good hands," we identify Shakespeare's imprisoning ambivalence between perfection and satisfaction, entrapped in the viewer's enjoyment. This resonates with Atwood in Felix's desire to perform the play, in order to obtain revenge and self-satisfaction of purpose in his works. My island domain, my place of exile, my penance, my theatre. The use of first-person pronoun projects Felix's demise in his work and his inability to be free from his artistry, allowing such resonation with The Tempest through Atwood's re-evaluation of the protagonist's confining labours. Thus, Atwood is able to reveal hidden truths in The Tempest by her re-evaluation of the play in a postmodern context, focusing on the mental repercussions as such. Investigating further, we can see how Shakespeare and Atwood reveal freedom from such entrapment of isolation and guilt. Prospero is able to find peace within his forgiveness of Antonio and Alonso, aligning with the Christian context, encouraging forgiveness. Prospero confesses, "I do forgive," and through such healing he finds salvation and freedom. Through Atwood's focus on mental imprisonment, we can re-view Prospero as being mentally and physically set free, no longer tormented by hate and confined to an island. Furthermore, Atwood resonates this in her remodeling to portray freedom, for Felix found in the alleviation of his guilt. Yes, he loves her, his only child. Free and direct discourse is used by Jean-François Lyotard, who challenged grand narratives, providing further depth in a more intimate discourse and portraying insight into Felix's conscience. Thus, in his acceptance of her age through the emphasis of child, presenting Miranda as only that, we see the intrinsic realization which encourages acceptance of reality, foregoing delusion and enabling mitigation of guilt to obtain freedom. Through underlining how physical imprisonment is only partially at fault for Prospero's demise, and exploring guilt of those who are lost in Hagseed, Atwood re-evaluates the assumed repercussions of guilt and revenge on the being and the psyche. Textual conversations involve and enable the re-evaluation of cultural assumptions supported in Hagseed, set in a postmodern psychoanalytical world, contrasting to The Tempest set in a feudal-based era. Atwood conveys the dissonances between mental and physical imprisonment, depicting how Prospero faces physical imprisonment, thus creating a disassociation from reality, dissonating with Felix, who is encompassed by his grief for the loss of his daughter, entrapping him in regret, living a life of illusion in her lost potential. Through such examination, we conclude that freedom is ultimately found in releasing one's burdens.